you're good. Ahead of what is likely to be a rather stressful Sunday for us West Ham fans as we travel to face Brighton at the Amex in a big game. This feels a really big game now. The results yesterday pretty much went our way. Aside from Leeds getting a point, everything else went our way. All teams around us lost. So this feels like a big, big opportunity, especially as we've got Aston Villa on the horizon, then Man City. You're looking at this fixture now thinking we really need to be getting something. And really, a win is really needed because if we can get the win, then we suddenly go level on points with both Leeds and Nottingham Forest. So big game. We've got some team news updates from XWH Employee. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous about this team in terms of what we might be getting today. Although there is some really good points to it. I think in terms of players returning, great. I think we're expecting possibly another Nuno special today where we're going to get a lineup where we all go, okay. That's my gut feeling on it. So it's going to be very difficult to predict the team. So I'm going to go through that in a minute. I suppose let's first of all look at the table. I think that's what I want to sort of start off and look at how important today's game is. I mean, you look at the league table now. West Ham, of course, are in 18th place here, but you're looking at it. I mean, we're not in bad form. You know what I mean? The last 5 games, you've only got 1 defeat, 2 wins, 2 draws. We're in decent form at the moment. Obviously, we're playing against a Brighton side who are considerably higher than us, 10 points ahead of us at the moment. But, they're a decent side, Brighton. We know they are a very well-established Premier League team now. It's a huge ask to go there and get 3 points. But really, when you look at that table, that's what we need today. West Ham get 3 points and that table suddenly looks a lot healthier, doesn't it? Our route to getting out of this suddenly starts looking clearer. Starting to believe that actually, do you know what? If we can just stay within the pack, we just don't want to be left behind. That's my fear because I'm fearful of the next 2 games. Aston Villa and Man City are very losable games for us. We know that. They're very, very losable. It's going to be incredibly difficult to get anything from those fixtures, let's be honest. So the fact if we don't win today and suddenly we lose those 2 games, we could easily be cut adrift. We could suddenly have a mountain to climb. So we cannot let ourselves get in that position. So I actually think today is a really, really big game. Not saying a point wouldn't do. I mean, a point, you've got to respect it. And if we did get a point, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I just think that ideally, really, we need to go into the mindset today of getting those 3 points because it's huge. It's a big, big fixture for us and not an easy one either. Look, if we went up to 15 points today, bloody hell, I mean, look, compared to Bournemouth, you're looking at 5 points behind Bournemouth. You know what I mean? It's like we're in touching distance of other clubs. You know what I mean? It suddenly doesn't look so bad. So yeah, big fixture. Obviously, as I say, results went our way. So they were very kind. Of course, we had Leeds losing, Nottingham Forest losing. Sorry, no, Leeds drawing, should I say? Nottingham Forest losing, Burnley losing. I think it's been pretty kind to us, to be honest. With Brentford as well now, sort of feel like they're getting possibly dragged back into this, which is good for us. We need other teams to be getting fully into this. And you've got to say, I mean, looking at the form of Bournemouth, I mean, my word, 2 points from the last 6 games. I mean, that's pretty shocking. And I'd say they're in danger of easily being dragged into this as well. So for that to happen, though, we need to be getting our points. So yeah, this is a big game. There's no 2 ways about it. This is a big game today. Right, first of all, let's do the team from XWH Employee. I think that would be the wise thing to do. Sorry, I want to say the team. I haven't got the team. He'll know the team, but I haven't got that yet. See, the thing is, X, right? Even with myself, he won't share too much of me. And to be honest, I don't really want to know sometimes. Although I do this, I'd rather sometimes just be like a fan. I just want to know when I find out. But I've obviously got a little bit of an indication of what's coming. So let me just read you what X has said this morning. He said, West Ham have Lucas Paqueta available for selection following his suspension, and the manager has already said that he will come straight back into the starting team. This is likely to be at the expense of Thomas Souček, which I think everyone would have expected that to happen anyway. The excellent news is that Crysentia Summerville has been back in training and should be available for selection. Fantastic news. And I believe he will start. And that's my gut feeling. I think Summerville will start. Whenever the clubs have 2 games in quick succession, the manager appears to change things up. And this is expected to happen today with a possible change in formation and personnel being explored in training. He's also given some consideration to whether Callum Wilson can play this many games in a row. So we're getting an indication of what's going on here, all right? The manager is currently assessing the squad ahead of the January transfer window and could opt to include a fringe player or 2 for this purpose. Perhaps one of Rodriguez, Irving, or Walker-Peters. Nicholas Fulker also has returned to the squad. Right, so we try and dissect that a little bit. Obviously, Paqueta, brilliant. We know he's back in the squad. We know he's going to be starting. He's got a lot to prove. And I'm really hoping we get that from Paqueta today. You know, like that kind of chest out, up for it. I'm going to show everyone what I'm about and to redeem himself after what happened at Liverpool. And I really hope that is the case. Obviously, the other brilliant news is that we've got Crysensis Summerville available, which is a huge relief because I was, like many, starting to fear that we were in for another long-term injury situation there, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Now, this is where the worry starts coming in. So, 2 games in quick succession, change things up. Expected to happen today with possible change in formation. Change in formation worries me. That indicates to me a back 5. To me, I don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that at all. But that could well be the case. He's also giving consideration to Callum Wilson. So I don't think Callum Wilson will start today. My gut feeling is he just played 2 days ago, best part of 90 minutes. I mean, I think he came off, was it 82nd minute against Man United? I just don't see him playing this game in terms of starting. He may well be an impact sub, something like that, possibly last 20 minutes or so, but I just do not see him starting this game. The manager is also assessing the squad players. So he's talking about Rodriguez, Irving or Walker Peters. I think you're looking at Irving coming in. I'm getting a little bit anxious about this team. Got to be honest with you. The more I read it, I'm getting more nervous. Let's have a look at what we think it's going to be. I'm going to try my best to work this out, but I think this is going to be very, very difficult to predict. I'm not confident of being. Last week did really well. We got 10 out of 11, and the only reason I got it wrong was because I stupidly said that Diouf would be dropped for Walker Peters. But I didn't say that. I just said that's what I would have done. But really, I should have said at the end, I do believe Diouf said. So I actually would have got it spot on. But I'm certain that's not going to be the case for this week. So I'm going to be honest with you. Actually, I'm going to change this. I think he's going to have a back 5. I reckon he's going to go for, if we go 5-3-2. Right, let's have a little look. So I'm really concerned about what we're going to see here today. I just don't know. I'm not sure. Well, it would even be that. Well, it wouldn't be a 5-3-2, would it? I'm not sure what we're going to play here. I'm really struggling to understand how we're going to play it, maybe. It's very difficult. All right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll stick with 4-2-3-1 for now. I just don't know. I'm really struggling with this. I'm really, really struggling with this. So we've got Areola up, Areola in goal, absolutely no doubt about it. Wan-Bissaka at right back, Mavropanos and Todibo. This will be Diouf, I imagine, coming in at left back. Well, I say coming in, retaining his position at left back, but I'm not. I'm sure that I don't know what he's going to put. I'm really struggling with this team because he said there's going to be a change in formation. I just don't know what we're going to be getting. I'm really struggling to understand how this is going to line up and with the amount of changes we're going to get. I think it'll be Magassa and Potts in the middle. Sorry for this bloody app. I need to get a better setup, don't I, really, in terms of a team lineup thing. This is what I'd like to say. I'm sort of going for the team at the moment, thinking this is what I'd say. So it'll be over here. This would be Bowen out here. Bowen. I think this is what I think he will play Paqueta up front. This is my guess. I think he's going to start with Paqueta playing the false 9. I want to be Paqueta false 9, Magassa Potts. I think then you're going to have Fernandez as number 10. I'm guessing Summerville, but this seems too. Right, so I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do the team I think we're going to have, right? And then we'll sort of go through it and see what we think. I'm finding this really difficult and quite stressful this morning because I just don't have a clue what Nuno's got in store because he just has this tendency, doesn't he, at times to change things up. And it's just not what we need at all. So, as I say, I'm going to stick with Areola in goal, Wan-Bissaka right back. I've got a feeling he might well be then saying that he's going to go for a back 5 this game, but I don't want to see a back 5 because we've got to win this game. I don't want to go into this game clinging on. Do you know what I mean? Thinking we've got to hope and pray that we're going to be able to cope with Brighton. I don't want to go and show them too much respect. I want us to go into this game with the belief that we're going to go and win it. So I'm going to hope that we're going to stick with back 4. Now, midfield, it's surely got to be Bagassa and Potts. I know they've only just played 90 minutes of football, but they're young lads. They can play another game of football. I'm not convinced that they need drop resting or anything like that. I can't see how you drop Fernandez because I think he's been one of our best players. Bowen, of course, retains his position. We know that Summerville's coming in, and we know that, well, let's say we know Summerville's coming in. We know Summerville's in the squad. I think he starts. And then you've got Paqueta, we know he's starting. So that, to me, seems like the most obvious team. Do you know what I mean? If I'm Nuno, that's my team today. But from what we're hearing from X, that is not going to be the case. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if I read back what he said here, he said the manager is... So... the club with the club whenever the club have played 2 games in quick succession, the manager appears to change things up, and this is expected to happen today with possible changes in formation and personnel being explored. He's also given some considerations to whether Callum Wilson can play this many games in a row. The manager is currently assessing the squad ahead of the January transfer window and could opt to include a fringe player or 2 for this purpose. Perhaps one of Rodriguez, Irving, or Walker Peters. I don't mind Walker Peters starting. I don't want to see Irving or Rodriguez. I mean, I'm certainly not Rodriguez. I really don't know what we've got to be getting rid of him. We need space in the squad. I want him gone. Nicholas Fulkrug has also returned to the squad. I'm not really interested in this bloody Fulkrug, but I appreciate we might need him because we've got no Wilson in terms of fitness. I would imagine today. I think he's going to be, he'll be exhausted. So yeah, I don't know. Like I can't really. Last week I was feeling more confident in the lineup and thinking, yeah, this is what we're going to get, and this is what I expect we're going to see. What did I say last week? It was for the Man United game. So a couple of days ago, but for this, I'm struggling. I'm really, really struggling. I don't know. But one thing I'll say is Summerville's fit. That's fantastic. Paqueta's starting. This is good with him returning to action. So these are a couple of positives. I'm just very concerned what we're hearing here about changing formation and fringe players suddenly coming back into the team. I think this is the fallout of West Ham playing 2 games in quick succession. I think there's a few players out there that just can't make it today, or maybe they're going to be put on the bench and look to come on. But that worries me. It's really worrying me because we really need the points today. We need a result. It's a big game. So yeah, let's hope we get it. Look, have a good one today. I'll hope to catch up with you a bit later on, and fingers crossed we get a decent result. But yeah, catch you on the other side. Come on, you irons.